Hi, I'm Devin McCourty.
And I'm Jason McCourty.
And we're getting real with Palmers.
So thanks for joining us. We have some fun questions for you guys today. But the main reason that we're here is that for the first time in your NFL career, you're on the same team with each other. Can you talk a little bit about that and what it's been like so far?
Yeah, it's been cool. You know, I think the best part about it has been kind of the stuff that's gone on off the field so far. With this just being the off season, we live close to each other, about 1 minute walk. So being able to just hang out at one another's house, bring the kids over and watch them, be able to hang out with their cousins on a daily basis, and go to his house, his wife cook dinner, my wife do dinner. Just being able to have that family aspect that we've been missing over the past 9 years has been really cool.
Yeah, and I think we just push each other a lot. We talk about training, conditioning, lifting weights, all of that stuff that comes a part of being good football players. We've always pushed each other to make ourselves better players. So we've enjoyed bringing that bond back together.
So you guys mentioned that you pushed each other a lot. Were you guys very competitive growing up?
Yeah, I think we were most competitive was video games and one-on-one games of basketball. Those two things always end in our mom having to kind of break it up before it became a fight. So
They never ended without a sore loser.
Yeah.
What video game specifically was the one?
Any sports, basketball and football. We would play college, pro, those two sports and video games for us.
So what was the first team that you guys were on together?
In football, we were always on the same team in football.
Yeah, football was the Valley Cottage Indians, our Pop Warner team. That was the first team we played together, and then I guess basketball was probably
CYL.
CYL, yeah.
And how old were you when you played football together for the first time?
10 years old, first year playing organized football.
Yeah.
Cool. And growing up, when you were 10 years old, who were your favorite athletes, specifically football players?
Oh man.
We were huge Cowboys fans, so I always loved Emmitt Smith. I read biographies on him. Kind of really got to understand how he viewed the game, but loved him, I guess, because he was scoring touchdowns and getting yards.
Yeah, I was a big Barry Sanders fan growing up. I loved to play running back as a kid, so watching the moves he used to put on people and just how good of a player he was as a running back was very fun to watch.
So, given your entire sports career from kind of like, pee-wee sports all the way up to professional sports, what other sports did you guys play and what did you excel at other than football?
Basketball was always
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Just basketball.
Basketball was always our sport that we loved. We played all the way up to high school. We'd play every day as kids. We probably played basketball since we got 3 years old. Our dad put a ball in our hands, so that was definitely our number one sport to play outside of football. But
we wasn't as good.
Wasn't as tall.
Yeah.
But we played other like wiffle ball, different things around the neighborhood. But those were the only two sports we played organized.
Who wins one-on-one when you guys play basketball?
We can go back and forth all day. I was a better basketball player, so.
We should have kept track. That's probably one regret. It would have been cool if we would have kept track every time we played one-on-one.
A lot of times we need to keep score.
Yeah, but we could have.
And in football, were you always defensive players, or what other positions did you play, before college?
Yeah, I was a running back in high school. I guess all the way through from Pop Warner up until college was a running back.
I was a receiver, but he liked offense more than me. I've always been a big fan of playing defense.
Yeah.
So now let's go from sports into a couple of other little things, like school. Who had the better GPA growing up?
He had the better GPA, but it was probably this much, maybe. It was always close. We had to get good grades to play football, so we made sure we stayed on it.
And who would you say is better looking of the two of you?
I am.
There's no question that I am.
What's the rationale? I mean, what separates you guys? We could tell you apart, but how do other people tell you apart?
Well, we could just pan the camera to the studio and ask everyone who they feel is better looking. Or I guess we could throw the question out. They're looking at us. So.
Yeah. So being twins, you guys must have, a prank or a story or something that happened when you were kids or, you know, in college. Give us one of your favorite twin stories.
We don't really have a prank. Growing up identical twins, people always make it a point to always know who's who and study it. But Dev's first Super Bowl in Indianapolis, me and the family all went down to the game, and day before the game, they always do family photos on the field. So they obviously do their team photo, and the families get to come on and take pictures with, you know, whoever you know playing and other players and stuff. And so they're down there on the field, and I run into Coach Belichick, and he comes up to me, and he's just like, "Dev, what are you doing? You got to get dressed, put your uniform on." And right as he was going to finish his statement is when it hit him. Oh dang, this isn't Devin, this is the other one, this is Jason. So we had a good laugh about that.
Yeah, people always, like in school, put us in the same classes, just try to make us as similar as possible, just to take away from trying to get pranks. One time we were in middle school, I think, so we sat in different assigned seats, but as soon as we sat in opposite seats, someone in the class rose their hand and told the teacher right away. So we should have better prank stories, but we probably failed at a lot of them.
Here's a question for a starting off. Who was born first?
I was born first, 27 minutes before he was born.
Do you know what the number 27 also represents?
For me?
Yep.
I was drafted 27th overall.
Very cool.
I was 203 in case you guys.
He said
27.
Yeah, but I mean, since we're talking about draft.
But you got drafted a year earlier.
But I was 203.
Yeah, he went 6th round. I wouldn't want to go early and go later.
He made a lot more money than I did.
So getting drafted, let's start with Jason since he went a year earlier.
It sucks compared to mine.
What was it like having your name called, and where were you when that actually happened?
I mean, well, my name wasn't called, but I got a phone call, if you want to say that. But I was right at home. It was a commercial. I think it was a Bud Light commercial or something like that. It was a commercial, and my name just scrolled across the bottom with the 203rd pick, Tennessee Titans, Jason McCourty. So no name call, no commissioner on stage. Everybody had already turned the TV off, but it was an amazing feeling. You know, my mom was in the back in her room. She kind of gets frustrated with the whole process. So it was a dream come true. You know, you prepare for so long to get ready for that moment. For a long time, it's a dream, and you really don't think it's a reality. So to get to draft day, no matter how long it took, to hear somebody, to get a phone call and somebody to tell you we're getting ready to draft you with this next pick, it's kind of a surreal feeling. Real humbling to know, like, all right, now as a 6th round draft pick, you got to go make the team. But just to have that opportunity to step foot on the NFL field and play in the preseason games and just go through that process, it was an amazing feeling.
Right. Well, you made the team. How many years before you were the starting cornerback of the Titans?
I was able to get a starting spot my 2nd season, be able to start to play well, and kind of create a home for myself with the Titans.
And you were opposite, who was your opposite you at cornerback at that time?
At that point, we had Cortland Finnegan and then Alteron Verner.
Cool. And Devin, why don't you talk about getting drafted, obviously 27th overall?
Yeah, my draft story was similar to his as far as just being at home, family and friends. I would say one thing was mine. A lot of people showed up that we kind of didn't invite. They just came by.
Not kind of.
Yeah, we didn't invite, just came by because they knew where we lived. And I would say the most similar part was our mom. You know, I think no matter what, I still went in the 1st round, but you have this whole idea where you think you're going to get drafted. So with his, we kind of thought he could go in the mid-rounds, and then when that didn't happen, my mom just went in her room and stopped watching. And then for me, I could go in the 1st round, and once it got to like pick 20, my mom just went in her room and had to stop watching. She just gets too antsy. But the same feeling, you know, hearing your name, getting a call from Mr. Kraft and Coach Belichick saying they're going to draft you with the next pick. Both the days our mom started crying right away, just like Jay said, realizing that dream had come true, and now you had the opportunity to go live it out. So you realize, cool, made the dream, and then you realize there's so much hard work that still goes into it, and I thought that's where we've done a good job of executing once we got there.
And now that you're there, during the off season, how many hours a day do you train?
I guess guess you would say a good 3 to 4 hours
Every day.
on a daily basis. Yeah.
No, I take the weekends off.
Yeah, I'll take Sunday off sometimes. I'll go Saturday sessions.
And how about during the season?
Actual training versus in the facility.
Yeah.
Actual training probably with practice being about 2 hours, weight room maybe another hour, 3, and then just
And then I think but the way the season works, you might be at 2.5 hours on the field in September, but by the time January comes, you'll probably only be on the field for an hour. You get in and get off because everybody's body's hurting. But a lot of your time during the season is spent watching film and meetings. So you're in the building anywhere between 10 to 12 hours a day just to prepare for a game on Sunday. And then as the games get bigger and bigger, usually means more hours in the building.
How about in terms of other aspects of being prepared for a game, like eating and staying healthy? Do each of you share secrets with each other in terms of how to prepare for a game?
Yeah, I think we talk about the process. I think as you get older, you start to figure that out. My rookie year, it was really just come in, go to practice, get ready to go play in the game, and then as you get older, you get some wear and tear. I now get massages twice a week. You'll go get acupuncture. You just do different things to make sure you're taking care of your body. You're in the training room, you're in the hot tub, you're in the cold tub. You're just doing different things to make sure you're as prepared as can be, and then you start to eat a little healthier as well. Just as you're getting older, you gotta slow things down a little bit to be able to perform on the field.
Yeah, I think it's been cool for him to see. We have a great nutritionist here who introduces us to different foods we can eat. Really big on us getting float tanks in the facility to help your body kind of recover and rest for the night. So we're always trying to exchange things that, I think our bodies are so similar. We're always trying to see what each other does that makes you feel the best. So that's been key, I think, even this year now, being together, of really being able to recover and do things together.
Right, and when you weren't together, if you watch, a lot of Sunday night and Monday night football, they would always talk about how the Manning brothers would always talk to each other, and trade secrets about, defensive schemes and stuff like that. When you guys weren't on the same team, did you guys talk to each other a lot about strategizing and different things like that?
Yeah, we always talk about how we game plan against offenses, maybe a specific receiver or running back. So the years where, they've played our division or we've played their division. So let's say when he was in Tennessee and we had to play against Houston and the Jaguars and Indy, I would call him right away because they play him twice a year and try to get all the info that they had on him, and vice versa when he played the Jets, Miami, or Buffalo. I would tell him everything and how we played this guy. So sometimes we kind of got mad that, if we thought something worked for the other one and we didn't implement it in our scheme, we'd be like, man, maybe we should do this. And we try to tell our coaches. So I think mine listen a little bit more than me than him.
All right, how about a couple of quick kind of like rapid fire questions? I'll mention a category and I just want to hear, what you guys each have to say. We'll go Devin, then Jason. So, toughest receiver to cover in the league. You guys, from what I understand, are about 6'1", right? So you guys are playing against some guys who are like, 6'5", 6'6". Who's the toughest guy you've ever had to guard?
I would say Antonio Brown.
I'll go with Calvin Johnson.
Okay. And how about, a running back bursts through the line of scrimmage, and now it's your job to stop him, and you gotta get down and make that tackle. Who's that guy that you don't want to see?
Marshawn Lynch.
I'll go a little bit throwback. I'll go Maurice Jones-Drew.
Okay. Wow. All right. The best quarterback that you've played against. I mean, obviously, right now you guys play with, probably the greatest of all time.
But other than Tom.
Other than Tom, the best quarterback that you've played against in terms of, looking one way, using his third option or fourth option on the field. I mean, who is that guy? Who's the toughest?
Aaron Rodgers.
I'll go Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Okay. You guys ever been to the Pro Bowl?
I have, yes.
And is that just 100%, fun, or is it, or do people take that game, really seriously?
It's 100% fun, but there are some guys out there that are playing hard and taking it seriously. But it always ramps up as the game goes on. I mean, you got a chance to win double the money, whoever wins. So, honestly, the best thing is when you don't have to play in it, but you make it. and your team wins, because then you get the money without having to play in it.
All right, so how about this? You were both rookies once. Name one player on each of the first teams that you played for that kind of took you under their wing and like mentored you. Is there anyone specific for each of you guys?
Yeah, I had two.
Oh, I've had multiple too. I would say Vince Wilfork and Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, for me, it would definitely be Chris Hope and Cortland Finnegan.
And in terms of your position, it's funny. Lots of people play fantasy football and they rank, the running backs and receivers and tight ends, and everybody knows about all that. But in defense, you really don't see that as much. So I'd like to hear from you guys. At your positions, who are the best players, respectively?
At my position?
Yeah.
I'm never going to choose anybody over myself. So.
All right. So who's second best, other than your brother?
I'll go with who I enjoy watching, Earl Thomas.
As far as cornerbacks, I was a huge fan of Revis when he was playing. Love to watch him play. And right now, Jacksonville's two corners, Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Bouye, are two really, really good players.
All right, so I'm sure you guys each have one play that kind of defines you, that you could watch over and over on film and be like, wow, I did that. What's that play for each of you guys? Do you each have like one MVP type play?
I would say I would go with a game, but my rookie year Thanksgiving game against Detroit was always my best game to play in.
I guess for me, the game that I would say after my daughter was born, I had 2 picks in the Jets game.
Okay. All right. So let's see. What's the best play you've ever seen? Is there one play of the year, play of the decade that comes to mind?
I would say in Tennessee, we had a receiver, Nate Washington. He caught a pass and kind of caught it on the player's back, which was a ridiculous play. And receiver Jerome Simpson. He did a flip over a guy. I forget which team he was playing for at the time.
The Cardinals. He did a front flip.
He did a front flip over a linebacker, which was pretty impressive.
Do you guys play or follow fantasy football?
Never.
Yeah, I don't play it. I have some teammates who enjoy playing.
It's a reality, so I don't play fantasy.
And if you guys were going to line up for a 40-yard dash, who would win?
I would win.
You could Google it. My 40's faster.
Okay. Couple more questions, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Palmer's. But what sports movie most inspires you?
One of my favorites always was Remember the Titans. A really good movie to watch.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, both of you Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
And how about, is there any song or music group, that you or band that you listen to when you're trying to psych yourself up for a game?
Whoever I guess is hot at the moment. Like I guess we're both big J. Cole fans. So J. Cole, Jay-Z,
Chance the Rapper,
Jada Kiss, different.
I always have a random playlist, not just one guy or one female.
And one of our final questions before we get into a couple of other things is, life after football, any thought to that yet? Or at this point it's 100% focus on, one season at a time and just see what happens after that?
No, we think about it a lot. We've talked about going into TV, radio possibly. We both love to coach at maybe a high school level. Really don't want the pressure and the moving around of a college and a pro coach, but we both just want to find something we're passionate about, we love. Money aside, just do something that's really going to bring enjoyment.
I agree, everything he said.
All right, well, the both of you have been spokespeople for Palmer's for, I would say, like the last 5 or 6 years. You did a commercial, walking down, your college stadium in Rutgers, and we've really enjoyed working with you. What we'd love to know is, you guys using Palmer's, what are some of your favorite products, and how long have you been using them?
I would say obviously the lotion is kind of what first got us involved with Palmer's because we were already using the lotion, so that's always been my favorite.
Since high school?
Yeah, we've been using that, I guess, since 14, so dang, that's a long time ago.
I know, it makes you feel old. Yeah, definitely the lotion, then the body wash, but I think something that's been kind of huge is just the little swivel stick. For us playing sports, you get injured, you get nicks and bruises, and just trying to get those scars to go away has been huge.
So was Palmer's something that was in your household growing up that your whole family used, or is that something that you guys kind of found on your own?
No, definitely our whole family. I mean, our mom has been a single parent, so she's been the one who's guided us through our entire lives, and she was definitely the one that introduced us to it and first showed us Palmer's. And I don't know who introduced her, but we've just kind of continued to pass it on. Now we have children and wives and family, so kind of the same thing.
And is it something that you always keep in your gym bag, locker room? Is this something that you just always have around?
Always keep in the locker room.
At home in the locker room.
Yeah.
Those are the places you're always showering.
I've always heard that people feel like he has like a small drugstore in his locker because he has all these different things.
Do you notice other people in your locker room ever with Palmer's cocoa butter formula?
Tom always gets on me about giving him more because since I've been there, he's always had either the jar or like just one of the lotion bottles in his locker, and then the training room uses it for massages and stuff. So they call it the platinum one, which is the men's formula. They always say to me, when are you going to get us the platinum jars so we're not just using the regular stuff?
Yeah, it's been cool. Obviously, through our partnership, we've been able to hook our teammates up with some stuff, and now it's the expectation. As soon as I got to the team, somebody said to me, "Oh man, now we get double the cocoa butter because we have both of them." So it's kind of our thing within the locker room.
So some of the attributes of Palmer's, the texture, the thickness, the smell. If each of you could just say what your favorite thing about Palmer's cocoa butter formula is.
I guess I never put thought to it.
Yeah, I would say smell and then dry skin. Not having that dry skin, being able to lotion in the morning or at night, and that kind of lasting throughout the day.
For me, it would be just how my skin feels after. I think that's the biggest thing. You're not too greasy, and then obviously what he just said, being able to last. You don't want to have pants on and switch to shorts, and then next thing you know, your legs are extremely ashy. So those are the biggest things for me.
All right. Well, one final question, and then we're gonna speak to the sweepstakes winner. But I know that last week you guys had an event for your charity to raise money for sickle cell. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, was our sixth?
Yeah, sixth
annual 5K walk/run. We do it in Jersey City at Liberty State Park every year. Great turnout. This is our biggest turnout probably in the 6 years. Over 700 people. We raised somewhere around 113,000, still counting. So just something that's near and dear to our heart. Our aunt suffers from the disease. We also have uncle who suffers from the disease, and our father had the trait. So we grew up extremely close with our aunt, and to watch her sufferings and things that she's gone through because of that disease, but then also to see her fight, how she's just continued to live her life and continue to do great things, has always inspired us to do more. So when we got our platform, being NFL players, and we were trying to think of what we could do to give back, was something that we had a personal connection with, and that we really feel we'd be able to bring awareness, raise funds, and just impact people.
Cool. I mean, that's great. That's great, guys. We had one question that we wanted to answer from someone who's watching who's tuned in. Someone wanted to know what your favorite post-game meal is.
Oh wow, post-game meal.
Something that's not that healthy. Usually hamburger and french fries for me post-game. Just trying to fill up, and usually I'm hungry after the game.
Yeah, I'm usually just really thirsty, so not a ton with the meal, but usually there's family in town. You're going to whatever restaurant is close to the house to pick up food. So I can honestly say I really don't have a post game.
Just a lot of water.
Pre-game, I'm big on pasta though.
Great, and the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to announce the winner of the men's Palmer's prize pack, and we're going to hand you an envelope, and if you guys can just tell us who the winner is.
Drum roll, please.
Just don't mess up the name.
And the winner is. I forgot. Help here. Here, you read that.
The winner of all Palmer's men's prize pack is
Anthony Romano and your 3 best friends.
Palmer's will contact you to claim your prize.
Cool. Well, from all of us here, and I'm sure from all the people watching, we wanted to wish you guys a great season. Go out there and make us all proud.
We appreciate it. Thanks for everybody tuning in on our Instagram Live. Brought to you by Palmer's. It's been a really fun afternoon. Just getting a chance to work with these guys again that we have. I like to bring my sidekick along, as you guys know. So you'll be hearing from.
Yo, we got to rap. Sponsors and stuff. You got to rap.
We still.
When they go to you to close, you close. Close.
I get close.
All
See
right,
you guys later.
Are we off?